Hello everyone, I'm Psychotic, and that's also my screen name. We are back with episode 26 of our Medieval Dynasty Let's Play. So our goals for today are to fix a couple of the mistakes that we had made. We're going to move the donkey shack and the stables and combine them into one yard so we don't have animals in the street. And we are going to make a second fold, I think, to fix that issue as well. So if you learn anything useful today, if you have a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, and here we are. I did make some stuff. I believe I made a crap ton of vials, wooden vials to be specific, and some stone knives for our merchants to sell for us. Now the seeds I think I'm going to handle manually. I don't think we're going to let them handle the seeds for two reasons. I don't want them to sell over what we need to keep to plant, and I also want to be able to finish leveling our diplomacy skill. And the fastest way to do that is seeds, because they're very small and relatively cheap. And it's based on each item sold, so you can get a fairly large increase of XP fairly quickly just by selling off excess seeds. So I want to get that Castellan soonest, I think, because the rest of our skills are pretty much where we want them. So I would like to go for Good Host, but I think Castellan's going to be the most important. We can probably get both since we're only halfway there. But we're capped now on survival. We are capped now on production. We still have quite a ways to go on hunting and extraction and diplomacy. So one of the things that I wanted to do was make a second fold, put it next to this first one here, and separate the sheep and the goats. I think that's going to be for the best for production reasons. That way we can have 100% of one worker working on milk and 100% of one worker working on wool, instead of having a 50-50 where we don't really have enough of either one. And it looks like this is going to be a problem because it says it's too uneven to build. So I wonder if we don't put it this way. And then just wrap the fence around. Like, we'll take the fence from this corner out and then swing it all the way around. I think that might be the way we do it. Let's see how that's going to look. And if it's awful, we will come up with something different. That'll do. That'll do. Alright. So if we can get this guy built up, then we can just tear this out. And we'll be in good shape. And I want to combine the donkey shed and the stable out there where it gets flat again. Out this way. I figure we can put them like side by side right here and then just make a big square around them. Is my ultimate goal. That way they can roam without us having our filly out in the middle of the street or our donkeys out in the middle of the street. And we'll see how that goes. Now, we are running a dangerous game at this point. We are 14 buildings away from cap right now. We're going to have to be a little cautious in what we build going forward because we want that to... Oh, wow. We've already made almost... Yeah, 2,000 coins off of the merchants already. That's fantastic. I hope. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the person that we have on the stables currently. I'm going to take them off of the stables and put them on the second fold so that we can do 100% and 100% for that. I still forgot to grab the damn straw. I always forget the straw. Now we know that our tailor is going to secure anything that we don't use to build right away to make hats, so we're going to have to make sure that we get everything built first. Well, it's not just the hats, that's the problem. We're actually pulling in exactly enough reed to keep up with the hats. The problem is animal feed also takes straw. So when they're making the animal feed, that's where the straw that we're harvesting winds up going. And we could increase our straw income, but that's going to lower our clay income or our stone income or our limestone income. And that's where the problem's really going to show up. So for the most part, we're just going to have to gather a little bit when we can, when we need it. I don't know that we'll need a terrible lot more. We have most of the buildings that we need other than the mine at this point. And a lot of the things, like I plan on building another smithy. But we're not going to need it for the smithy because we're going to jump straight to the tier 2. So we won't need it for the tier 1. Unless we're not going to build the tier 1 and then upgrade it. We're just going to go straight for the tier 2. There we go. So I think this spot here at the end of the road, at the corner of the essentially housing district, because we have houses all that way and we have houses going up this way. So I think for this open space right here, that's where I want to put the tavern once we unlock it. So I feel like if you had a bar slash restaurant, putting it in a residential area would be ideal. And I know it's not really going to make a difference in the game, but it makes sense to me, so. Yeah, our hill's getting a little steep to build on. We're going to have to go out that way a little bit, I think. I didn't have the town curve as much as I should have to account for the hill. We basically gridded the place, and it looks pleasing, but you run into that issue where the hills and the terrain are starting to give us some issues. Alright, once we get this done, we can move our goats. And we're going to take the person off of the stable, I think I said. And we can tear down that dividing fence here. So let's go to destruction. Gone. And I'm hoping that they can't squeeze out through here. I wouldn't think that they could, but Lord only knows. Aww. Okay, so if we go into our management, I remember when I moved the pigs, it was awkward. So we're going to have to see, I think if we do it this way, if we go into the fold and assign animals this way, so we'll do the goats in the new place. Oh, we already have a goatling. Fantastic. There we go. And then we can assign... So we don't need scissors for this. What we need is buckets. Because we're going for buckets o' milk. And we had those 20 buckets that I had already put in the other one. So we're just going to carry those around. But this way, instead of having 50-50 split, we're going to have 100% and 100%. So like if we take this, we're getting... Oh, right, because we already removed the animals. So at 56%, we were only getting 5 wool. And it takes 8 wool to make a single thread. So hopefully we'll be getting 10 this way. And 9. I'll take it. It's better than nothing. That's at least 1 spindle a day. And then we need to find the person... You know what? This is probably going to be easier to do the other way around. If we go into the stable. And it's Robert. So we're going to go to Robert. And we are going to move him from the stable to the fold with nobody in it. There we go. Alright. And now our other goal was going to be to move the donkey shed and the stable out to somewhere a bit more flat and put them side by side and combine their yard as well. I'd like to put them out here. My original thought was to put our markets along the road up here, because and in talking yesterday with another player, they were under the impression that the markets sold to the villagers. I was under the impression that the markets were where the villagers sold to passers-by. So I had initially intended to put them out there, but I think having them over by the residential district isn't going to hurt anything. The only ones that really matter, that honestly matter, are the farmers. And not like the animal keeper farmers, but the farmers, the ones that go into the field every day. So let's go ahead and put a donkey shelter down. So we can put, yep, right like that. And then we will put, nope, I screwed that up. I was off center. So let's go to the donkey shelter again, and we're going to go to south. We're going to bring it down, yep, like that. And then we're going to go, whoops, to the stable. And we're going to put it right next door. Like that. And then for our fencing, I don't want them getting too close to the road. And eventually this fencing's probably going to be split out for stone. So come over this way. And come down this way. And we're going to put in multiple fences so that we can get to them wherever we happen to need to. So now we're going to go west. And we want to get this as lined up as we can. There we go. And we'll come out a little bit in the front for them too. And then we can come straight back up here to close it off. It's not a very big run area for them. I would like for it to be bigger. Maybe when we do the stone fence, we'll make it bigger for them. But for now, that'll do. And then we can put in a gate down here. And we want, because we were facing west when we put it in, so we need to be facing east when we put the gate in. It's not gonna cooperate here. Is that gap not a full one? It's almost like it's not a full-size gap. There we go. Well, it's slightly skewed, but I don't think they'll be able to get out of it, so I'm not too worried about it. My headset is having fits at the moment. I don't know what's going on. There we go. So I'm thinking probably one in front of each as well. So we'll put one here, and then we'll put one here. And hopefully these ones will be a bit more cooperative with us. Yeah, the other ones let us put it in the gap, and this one's given us issues. So I think it's the spacing of the fence, honestly. And it's just going to look kind of wonky. It is what it is. We're going to make it prettier once we get the stone fence unlocked. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just going to be a little ghetto for a little while. Okay. So with these up, all that we need to do now... Oh. Hello. I whiffed. Bad. S. There we go. We've only gathered 15. Crap. So I also wanted to experiment with the shearing scissors. Because they produce wool regardless. I want to see if we can shear them on top of it to get additional wool. Because if we can get extra wool, that's going to be extraordinarily useful for jump starting our wool production. Okay. That is a goat. Wow, yeah. So if they're collecting wool and we're collecting wool, we're going to wind up with a lot more wool. Now, I don't know if this is a daily thing or a seasonal thing. But, I mean, we got 26 wool just out of sharing the 3 of them. Whereas they only get, what, 9 a day? So that's going to be handy. I actually don't mind the way that the stick fence looks. I just like the way that the stone fence looks better. The plank fence... If the plank gate wasn't so high, I would have preferred a plank fence. But the plank gate is massive. It looks like something that you would see on a palisade wall, not for a fence. And I really wish that you could see what they look like before you buy the recipes. Just like a ghost image or something. Because I wouldn't have spent the 1,500 coins on that if I'd known how big it was. Because I don't want to wall in the whole village. Alright, so this will finish this off. And now we can get the animals moved in. And not have our filly and donkeys wandering the wilderness. Wow, our hammer's almost dead again. We're going to have to build a new hammer. Okay, management. And if we go to... Yep. So we've got the new donkey shelter is going to take the old donkey and foal. And the new stable is going to take our stallion and our filly. So he's 3 and she's 1. If we look at our donkey shelter, he's 5 and she's not even 1 yet. Okay. So there we go, all safely fenced in. Ta-da! Alright. So that gives us a little bit more room to build here too. We could move that. You know, let's leave off the moving stuff for now. That is not progress, that is just beautification, and there will be plenty of time for that when our progress is caught up. Okay, so those guys are going to be fed. Why do you look super cold, but everybody else doesn't? Small talk. What's on your mind? Alright, so on that note, bye. Alright, so the sheep don't regrow their fur during the course of the day, do they? Does not look like it. So we'll have to revisit, because season change is going to be tomorrow. So that'll be one thing, and then we'll have to see if it's daily or if it's just at the season. We do have one problem, though. Our hammer's not going to make it through a house. I have made such a rat's warren of this back here. Talk about back alleys to get mugged in. So I did do a little bit of modification on one of the houses over behind the markets. Just because the windows would have been looking at a blank wall. So I flipped the window to the other side so they actually have a view. And we might do the same thing with this one. If there's a window on that left side, we will move it to where it's not, or on the right side, rather. We will move it to where it's not staring at the back of things. We've got another small house going in there, and I have plans for that. A big house wouldn't fit, was the first issue. But mostly the house that's going in there is for our heir and his wife, because we're going to have the retirement house back by the lake for ourselves and our wife. And then hopefully the one back by the lake will be cleared out by the time our heir has an heir, which means that they can just rotate the two small houses. I did notice, though, that in the co-op that's coming soon, the second player looks like it's going to be female. So that's going to be awkward, especially if you play with male friends. Like I do. Like, so who's going to be the wife? And granted, in peasant times, the wives did just as much work as the husbands did, but it's just going to be awkward. This will give us 6 slots. So I think everybody else is paired up. We have a couple of poor pairings, but I think everybody is paired now. So if we look at management, everything is 2, right? We don't have any 1s left? Right. And then we've got 0 of 4, 0 of 3, and there should be one more 0 of 4? No? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we don't have enough room for 6. No, we're gonna have to finish the other house in order to be able to grab 6 people. It is what it is. These look super weird because the residential district kind of wraps around them. So they're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we didn't quite get to refine them. Holy crap, our taxes are now 8,000. I mean, we've got it, but jeez. Okay, so we have the King's Quest that we're going to have to worry about very shortly. And we've got this house to finish. Why do you look so dapper? Those are some bright colors for a peasant there, mate. I don't know if making planks works towards crafting technology, or if it works towards extraction technology. I'm hoping it's crafting technology. So while we need both, the crafting technology is going to get us down to the making of iron tools. So they did not regrow their coats over this season overnight with the new season. Interesting. Interesting. So I wonder if that's a once-a-year thing where we can shear them. I think the villagers still going to be able to get theirs out of them, though. It's just a much reduced compared to what we got. So the right hand has 4 fingers on the glove. The left hand, I think, only has 3. We'll have to see when we have a two-handed tool going. But I noticed when I was doing sewing work that the left hand only had 3 fingers and a thumb. So I wasn't sure if that was the gloves or if that's a problem with the sewing animation. But it was definitely startling, to say the least. Unfortunately, the way he's holding the bag, you can't really tell. No, he's got 4 fingers on it, so it's just the sewing hut animation. I'll have to see if I can't get that on camera. Alrighty. So there's the fields handled. Holy shit. Okay, putting those extra points in diplomacy on the respec into their production speed made a massive difference. So if we're going on a run to sell stuff anyway, I think I'm actually going to go on a bit of a crafting spree as well. Just so that we can get the most out of the trip that we can. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to stop a little bit early tonight because based on time, I'm going to do a large batch craft to try to get some more diplomacy XP and get some stuff sold on a sell run. They must have just started planting flax. So I think, what's 36 is 18, so 90. 90 and 18. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to stop a little bit early tonight and go on a big crafting spree to try to get that crafting XP and to try to get some extra money scared up because it cost us almost 10 grand for taxes this year. Which, I mean, we're making back fairly quickly, but that was disappointing and surprising. And we still need to recruit people, and we need to go talk to the King's Man. So that's stuff that we will try to take care of next time. But with the big crafting spree and this close to when we normally stop anyway, I think we're just going to stop now. So if you learned anything useful, if you had a good time, please don't forget to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, have a fantastic rest of your night, and we will see you next time.